Welcome to Mini Web Tool. You know, we're all on this journey, right? Trying to figure out our relationships. It's this deep human need to understand ourselves and, of course, the people we love, to figure out why we connect and just how we fit together. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You meet someone and bam, it's like you've known them forever. The conversation just flows. But then there are those other people, the ones you really want to connect with, maybe a partner or a friend, and it feels like you're speaking two totally different languages. It's so frustrating when you just can't seem to bridge that gap. So we look for answers everywhere, in psychology, shared interests, you name it. But what if a huge clue to understanding your personality and theirs was hidden in something you've had since day one? Now look, this isn't about magic or trying to predict the future. It's about a really fascinating system for understanding personality archetypes called numerology. And we're going to focus on its most important idea, the life path number. So here's what we're going to do. We'll talk about why finding answers on compatibility feels like a maze. Then I'll show you exactly how to find your own life path number. We'll decode what these archetypes actually mean, and then I'll show you an instant way to get clear answers. And finally, we'll see how you can use all this to build way stronger connections. Okay, so if you've ever even dipped a toe into figuring this stuff out online, you've probably felt completely overwhelmed. It's like trying to find one specific book in a massive library with no signs. Right? One website tells you, oh, you and your partner are a perfect match, but the very next one says you're basically doomed. You end up more confused than when you started. It's just a classic case of information overload. And hey, maybe you tried to figure out your number yourself and just got totally lost. The instructions are all murky. Do I add the numbers this way or that way? It feels like you need a math degree just to get started. And then you hit the jargon. All these weird terms start popping up. What on earth is a master number? Why does it even matter? It feels like some kind of insider's club, and it just puts up another wall when all you want is a simple answer. And that right there is the biggest problem. Most of the info out there is either way too shallow, just a list of adjectives, or it's so complex you can't even get through it. It doesn't explain the why. Okay, let's dive in and clear all of this up step by step. So, what is a life path number really? Well, think of it like the main theme of your life. It's the current that runs underneath everything, revealing the kinds of opportunities and challenges you're just naturally going to face. Now, this is not about predicting specific events. It's about the innate personality you were born with, your core skills, your talents, and your challenges. It's a blueprint, an archetype, and it all comes from the one piece of information about you that never, ever changes, your birthday. The whole system is actually pretty simple. It's all about reducing your birth date down to a single number between 1 and 9. It's a simple 4-step process, and we're going to walk through it right now together. Let's use an example birthday, March 25th, 1990. Okay, first up, the month. March is the third month of the year, so that one's easy. Our first number is a 3. Next, the day. Our example day is a 25th. Since it's a 2-digit number, we just add the digits together. So, 2 plus 5 equals 7. Simple enough? Our second number is 7. Now for the year, 1990, we add up all 4 digits. 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 0, that gets us 19. Still 2 digits, so we reduce it again. 1 plus 9 is 10. Still 2 digits, so one last time. 1 plus 0 equals 1, so our year number is 1. All right, last step. We add our 3 results together, the 3 from the month, the 7 from the day, and the 1 from the year, which gives us 11. Now, here is that special rule we talked about. If your final number adds up to 11 or 22, you stop right there. You don't reduce it any further. These are called master numbers, and they just mean there's a higher potential for big achievements, but they also come with some bigger internal challenges. If your number had added up to, say, 14, you would just add 1 plus 4 to get a final life path number of 5. So you've done the math. Now for the really fun part. What do these numbers actually mean? Let's move from the how to the what, the personality archetypes themselves. So each number from 1 to 9 represents a different core personality. For instance, a life path 1 is the leader, super independent, driven, always coming up with new ideas. A 6 is the caregiver, nurturing, responsible, really focused on their family and community. A 7 is the thinker, analytical, deep, always asking why. Each number kind of has its own operating system, which is where things get really interesting with compatibility. Here's a perfect example of how this works. It's not about good numbers and bad numbers. It's just about understanding how different blueprints interact. Let's take a life path 5, the adventurer, who lives for freedom and change, and pair them with a life path 4, the builder, who needs stability and routine. This is a classic challenge combo. Now, that does not mean it's doomed, not at all, but it does mean their core values naturally clash. The 5 can feel trapped, while the 4 feels like the ground is always shifting. For it to work, the 5 has to learn about commitment, and the 4 needs to learn how to be a little more flexible. See, it's about growth. Now, the theory behind this is super powerful, but let's be real. That manual calculation can be a bit of a pain. You have to remember the master number rule, double-check your addition, and then you still have to go find a good guide to interpret everything. And suddenly, you're right back where you started, scrolling through a dozen websites trying to piece together the real answer. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a simple, elegant system, right? This is why a simple, accurate tool is so great. You want to get straight to the insight, not get bogged down in the process. You just want the answer. And that's exactly why there's a fantastic free tool for this on MiniWebTool called the Love Compatibility Calculator. It's honestly brilliant in its simplicity. You just pop in your birthday, pop in your partner's birthday, and bam! It instantly calculates both of your life path numbers and gives you these clear, side-by-side descriptions of your personalities and how you connect. It solves all those annoying problems in about 5 seconds. Okay, so where do you go from here? This isn't just about finding a number. It's about using that knowledge to build a better path forward in all of your relationships. So let's just recap the big takeaways. Your life path number is a guide, not a box you're stuck in. Think of it as a window in your core self. Understanding your number and your partner's number isn't about judging your relationship. It's about empathy. It's about finally realizing that maybe their need for stability isn't a flaw, and your need for freedom isn't a flaw. It's just a different blueprint. This knowledge gives you a totally new language to talk about your differences. It can turn, why are you always like that? Into, okay, I get it. Your builder nature needs security while my adventurous spirit needs to explore. So how can we meet in the middle? It shifts the whole conversation from judgment to actual understanding. So think about that. What new conversation could this start for you? If you're ready to find out, just search for the MiniWebTool Love Compatibility Calculator to get your own results instantly. It really could be the first step to a much deeper connection. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and be sure to subscribe to MiniWebTool for more.